Tonight, on 2700 Seconds, we investigate the peculiar case of Snow White. Who was this girl? How did she die, and how is she still alive? Who are the men she befriended, and how does her mother fit into all of this? I'm your host, Loralei Pearson, and this is 2700 Seconds. Evil Queen, tell us about your life before Snow White ran away. Can you talk about your previous husband in Snow White?
Well, you see, years ago, I married a wonderful man who had a child as white as snow. I was ready and excited to start my new life with my husband, but unfortunately, our happily ever after was cut short. My husband passed away, leaving me with his child, Snow White. We mourned his death for a while, and I longed for him for many years, but now I've got this young girl to take care of. She was as spoiled as ever and never cared for me, and thus I never had any reason to like her. She's supposed to be the next queen of the kingdom, but she doesn't care at all. She just spends time with random delinquents in town.
What was she like at home?
Very disrespectful. Recently, I grounded her, and do you know what she did? She sang into a well, as if it would speak back to her. Not even an hour later, the neighboring prince shows up for a discussion on trade agreements.
So, am I gonna get paid, dog?
Aren't you a prince? Why do you want money?
I gotta stand my grind, bro. Respect it.
Right. So how did you meet Snow White?
Well, my old man made me come here for a trade deal or something. I don't really know. Anyway, I was on my way to meet this old lady or something, and then I saw her. She was singing into a well, and I was like, that's weird, bro. But I like weird. So anyway, I jumped the fence and walked up to her. We talked for a while. I made sure to show off these massive gains, bro. I can bench like 280.
Oh, that's nice, but let's please stay on track.
Right. So she and I talked and stuff, and then some angry old hag came out and started yelling at her, and I was like, that's not very cash money of you, bro. And then she saw me, and I think she was impressed by my gains because she stopped yelling at her. So anyway, she started talking to me about some boring stuff, and I swear it was so boring, dude, I almost fell asleep.
Snow White, your stepmother says you were talking into a well?
Yeah. Okay, honestly, I thought the well was talking back to me. My evil stepmom kept me grounded in that stupid palace for so long. And I suppose I got a little desperate to talk to somebody, and then the well was right there, so.
That makes sense, I guess. And that's when the prince approached you, correct? Were you impressed by him?
Impressed? No, he really wasn't that impressive.
Meaning you don't like him?
No. No, I didn't say that. However, he did scare me when I first turned around to face him.
He scared you?
Mm-hmm. He came up behind me and he was all like, sup. And it scared me, but I played it off. And I was like, oh, hello. And he was like, again, sup. And I was like, is sup the only word you know how to say? And then he was like, how's it hanging? Hopefully you're doing well. And I was like, actually, I'm doing, and then he cut me off and he was like, it was a pun, laugh. But it really wasn't that funny. So I was like, oh, ha ha ha. And then I was stuck talking to him for like an hour.
All right, next interview. Oh, is that a chicken?
Excuse me? I am the Sir Lord Gilbert Bartholomew Rosita the 13th, the chicken of the royal court.
Excuse me, Sir Gilbert Bartholomew Rosita the 13th.
Sir Lord Gilbert Bartholomew Rosita the 13th.
Of course. What is it like living in the royal castle with the queen?
Well, I must say it is quite exquisite. The queen treats me so nicely, and I have a pillow of the finest silks. But that Snow White girl is quite preposterous.
What's so preposterous about her?
Well, she's always getting in the way of the maids. And she was talking to a whale just the other day.
That is quite strange.
Yes, quite. You utter buffoon! How dare you pat me like that? I could buy and sell you!
Oh, let's move on. So, tell us about the mirror. Is it just a mirror, or is it actually magical?
I detest that mirror. He does answer the questions I ask him, but goodness, he is a shameless, infuriating being that knows only my demise. He is quite magical, however, and can tell me what he sees throughout most of my kingdom.
Magic mirror on the wall tells us the tale of it all.
I have a name. It is clear. I'm not Magic Mirror. My name is Little Mirror.
Oh, Lil Mirror, can you tell us what happened with the queen?
Oh, Snow White was the real MVP for sure. The queen was tripping. She asked me every day. Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? And I was like, I'm Will Mirror, and I ain't gonna tell you an answer to my name, you do. Yeah. Little mirror on the wall, tell me who is the fairest of them all, or I will throw you into the hall. It's Little Mirror, but that's close enough, I guess. Alright, so here's the deal. You're quite the still. Yes, I'm the fairest of them all. Nah, I wasn't done, shawty. You may be a still, but Snow White the real deal for show. How dare you call me the first loser? I am the fairest queen in all the land. That wasn't very gnarly, dude, but I guess I'll explain in this sick interlude. Get out!
So you had to dip. I mean, leave. So you had to leave.
Nah, Shawty had to leave. She was exceptionally cute. So no matter how hard I could heave, I simply could not leave.
Can you tell me about your relationship with the queen?
The queen. She's gorgeous, and well, she was everything. I was her loyal huntsman. I always thought she was so perfect. But I was wrong. She is a monster. She's villainous, bloodthirsty, good for nothing, vicious, ugly.
Whoa. Those are some very strong words. What happened between you two?
It was terrible. I'm sorry. She said I had to kill Snow White. Not just kill her, but cut her heart out. And if I didn't, well, she said she would kill me.
That's intense. Did you stand up to her since you knew that was wrong?
Stand up to her? To the evil queen? Do I look like a fool to you? Of course I didn't. I grabbed my knife and I chased Snow into the forest.
Did you hurt her?
No! I wouldn't hurt a butterfly. I caught up to her and told her to run as far away as she could and to hide from the queen. I never saw the poor girl again.
What did the queen do when she found out you let Snow White get away?
I don't want to talk about it.
So obviously the huntsman didn't kill you. Where exactly did you go?
Well, after running for what felt like an hour, I stumbled upon this shack-looking house. There was no one inside, so I helped myself because my feet were killing me.
Well, there must have been things inside the house that belonged to the people who lived there, right? Why did you continue to go inside?
Well, when I went in, I noticed it was dirty and abandoned looking. Not to mention, the smell of that place was rancid. I figured nobody would want to live in a place that looked as disgusting as it did.
I'm sorry, let me get this straight. So you found a house, you went inside, saw other people's belongings, and then continued to enter.
Yeah. Even if there were people in there, I really didn't think they would mind. I mean, look, I'm pretty, I can cook, and I'm pretty. Plus, I figured if there were people living in there, looking as disgusting as it did, they wouldn't have even noticed I was there.
You realize this is considered breaking and entering.
No one was home, and if no one was home, I didn't think they would, care. Plus, I figured if I cleaned, they'd let me stay. So I did. I did a good thing for the poor people in need.
Well, that makes sense, I suppose. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
Right. Would you like to state your names for the camera?
I am Dr. McShort.
Just Dr. McShort?
Yes.
Okay. And you?
This is my brother, Heath McShort.
Right. Well, let's get started. Doctor, why don't you tell us about the whole ordeal? How did it all start?
Well, you see, as the most intellectually based brother, I can be extremely objective. I have everything written down with dates and times in my journal here. You see, on Tuesday, April 10th, my brothers and I were coming back home from work after finding many beautiful stones. It was such a great day for mining. We'd found 10 rubies, 17 emeralds, 2 diamonds, 5 sapphires.
I'm sorry. Let's stay on track though. What happened when you got home?
Sure, yes, sorry. Anyways, when we got back home, we noticed quite a bit of movement in our home, and the door was left wide open. You see, Steve accused Benjamin of leaving the door open, but Benjamin was quite positive that he had locked the door on the way out of the house that morning. We then carefully came closer until we saw this young girl cleaning everything, and well, I was confused and a little concerned because, to be quite frank, some of those places have not been cleaned in years, and honestly, I don't even know what she could have found. Old socks, messy trash. I tried to make my brothers keep everything clean, but they just don't listen to me.
It's really interesting. Let's hear from one of your brothers. Heath, what happened next?
Huh? What?
What happened when you all got home?
I had a perfect blanket burrito, but it got moved and I slept in a bad position. It does smell nice here though.
I deeply apologize for the unfavorable behavior of my male sibling. He has quantum ad sononym. It's an unforgivable ailment that causes him to lose consciousness at a rate that's, well, certainly less than ideal.
Isn't that just narcolepsy?
No, and this interview is over.
Hey, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Oliver McShort. I am so excited to be here on this beautiful spring day.
I'm Steve McShort. I hope this doesn't take long. We have to get back to the mine. I don't like wasting time.
Oh, you're just so grumpy. This isn't a waste of time.
You are always too energetic and happy. The world isn't as nice as you think it is.
Well, okay, let's get to the point. What happened when Snow White first arrived at your house? What did she do?
Well, she was a little monster. She kept moving my stuff. I still don't even know where my socks have been moved to.
Have you looked in your sock drawer?
Of course not. Why would they be there?
Let's get back to Snow White.
Well, she was such an angel. I've never met a sweeter child. She dusted things, she cooked, she cleaned the table and set it for dinner. She washed our clothes and now they smell like a spring morning. She found our shoes and organized everything in sight.
She destroyed everything. She cleared the table. She soaked all of our clothes in strange liquid with flowery toxins. She lost our shoes. She demolished our perfect comfy beds. And she used the last bit of pancake mix and eggs to create pancakes with ass.
No, she calls them waffles.
Anyways, she ruined breakfast. She invited a whole bunch of wild, stinky animals into our house. She slept on our beds, forcing us to sleep in uncomfortable places. She even graffitied our front door.
We offered for her to sleep in our beds. The animals were lovely to have around. I always wanted a dog and the beaver was like one. She did these beautiful flower masterpieces on the front door, and sleeping on the couch wasn't that bad.
This is really interesting insight. Thank you for your time.
This show's
You're welcome.
Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Dustin McShort, and
I'm Walter. Oh, McShort. I'm also McShort. Is this going to be on national television?
It'll be available to the public, yes.
Oh my.
Well, let's get started. Walter, why don't you start?
Walter didn't see her too much, but he certainly heard her making noise in the kitchen, the moving of cups, the shifting of house appliances. So I, like the dutiful brother I am, went to investigate.
When you went to investigate, what did you find?
I found her dusting and I...
Bless you.
Noted.
But overall, her cleaning helped me go 12 hours without sneezing. I wasn't even on my allergy medication. The air purity, it will be missed.
That must have been a wonderful experience for you, Dustin. What about you, Walter? Did anything positive come out of your experience?
Oh, me? You want to hear from me?
Yes, you were there when it all went down, weren't you?
Well, I didn't really get a good look, you know? Like, if she went missing, I definitely couldn't give a police sketch. I mean, she's tall. Well, not tall, just taller than me. She has blonde hair, or maybe it was dirty blonde. I can't exactly remember. I could probably recognize her voice if she sang. She has such a pretty voice. Not that she's pretty. I mean, she is pretty, but, I mean, anyway. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Don't worry, you've answered it perfectly.
Oh, bless you.
Your name is Benjamin McShort, correct? Do you have anything to say about the situation? Let's move on. Action. Would you like to introduce yourself, Groundhog?
My name is Dennis Allen, and I'm a beaver for your information. I represent all the animals of the forest here.
All right, Dennis. Well, can you tell me what it's like to work with Snow White?
Work? We were manipulated. She came with her magic song, and we were forced to follow. All we could do was watch as our paws moved on their own.
She made us sweep the floors, remove the random socks on the floor, and do the dishes. I don't even know what dishes are. Do you know what it's like to wake up in the morning and find yourself cleaning after those mixed shorts? Don't even get me started on them.
Wow, I'm so sorry for your trauma. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the world?
After this horrible incident, I lost my home. Now I live here on this log. One day I'll have my revenge.
So Snow White, you found this house that I'm sure from the outside didn't look too appealing. Was the inside any different?
Well, when I first saw it, I noticed it was all abandoned looking, so I knew the queen wouldn't get within a mile of it, which made it perfect. But I thought the inside would be different. I didn't want to judge a book by its cover, you know? Well, like always, I shouldn't have tried to be hopeful.
You previously mentioned cleaning the house. Was it truly that bad?
Revolting. It was revolting. And that was just the living room. I had to wear a hazmat suit just to enter the bedroom. And yellow is not my color. But as the kind, community-loving person I am, I always help the people in need.
Right.
So I started front to back, picking up tools, socks, dirty pans, and even beaver droppings. It was the longest 2 hours of my entire life. But I love helping people in need. Plus, those little musty mixed shorts needed my help.
Right. I'm sure when the mixed shorts came home, they were thankful, right?
Thankful? That's not exactly the word I would use for it. Some of them were appreciative, but others were like upset or something. Especially Grumpy, who's very expressive with his opinions. And apparently I messed up Sleepy's blanket burrito or something, but I made them waffles, which is a lot harder to do than you would think. I don't know. I just think they should have been more grateful.
Well, it sounds like you certainly helped in your own way. Thank you for your time. So, how did you find out Snow White was still alive?
Shawty was going buck wild on the ground. And
Despite the fact that I explicitly said no social media, and also in spite of the fact that that spineless huntsman was supposed to bring me her heart.
anyways, Shawty was posting every 5 minutes, and I showed the queen and she was reaching her limits, homie.
What do you mean she's alive?
Shawty's on the gram, ma'am.
Can that incompetent fool do nothing? She's supposed to be dead. Who are those 7 little men anyway? They're in the background of every photo. What's she doing with them?
Shawty, Snow White's living her life or whatever.
She's 14, you nincompoop. Not only that, she's not even supposed to be alive.
It is weird that she's hanging out with those men, however.
I give that fool one simple job. It's all he has to do. And even then, he...
Queen Shawty got all mad that Shawty White was alive and hated to see her thrive. She decided to take things into her own hands, my man. That's that, dog.
Totally, bro. I mean, I see, little mirror. Well, let's move on.
Deuces.
I know this is difficult to talk about, but just answer a couple of questions and we'll be all done, okay? What did the queen do when she found out that you let Snow White get away?
She told me to. She said she was going to.
It's okay. Take your time. There's no rush. She can't hurt you. Thank you. Here. Oh.
I told her Snow White got away and she...
Next question. I can see you're not very well fit to carry out the jobs she gives you. Why do you still work for her?
She's honestly a very pleasant person. When she's not trying to kill 14-year-olds.
I'll take your word for it.
I just don't understand why she's so obsessed.
The poison apple was originally conceived to kill Snow White, wasn't it? How did you go about creating it?
You're clearly not a mage. It's but a simple spell, really. I always found it strange how the easiest spells were always the most harmful.
Of course, ma'am.
Did you just call me ma'am?
Not in an insulting manner, out of respect.
All right. Well, I assume this is a television ploy to bring up how I went about aging my appearance as well?
You read my mind, ma'am. Madam, Your Highness.
I knew Snow White had made it this far somehow. She's not an idiot, despite what some of her actions would have you believe. I was aware that entrusting the apple to someone else's care might end in it never reaching her, and thus I had to change my form.
You decided to take matters into your own hands.
But of course I did. Have you seen the huntsman? He's been reduced to a blubbering fool on camera by now, hasn't he? And it's no secret he failed me. I should have known he was too soft. It's complete. With this, I will be the fairest in Snow White. Why, that girl will be no more. What?
Charlie, look.
No. No, that cannot be. No. Who am I fooling? Nobody loves that girl, let alone any true love's kiss contenders of the spell. I will be the fairest of them all, and Snow White will perish. And so I knew she wouldn't survive. At least, I thought she wouldn't. Alas, that pea-brained prince had to go and ruin my plans. Oh well, this is but a minor setback. I will be the fairest.
You're saying you would attempt this again. Are you aware of the consequences?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Of course not. That would ruin my plans of parole. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time for my tea break. It's the last one I'll be getting before I go back to prison. At least it's quiet there.
So, Snow White, your stepmother tried to... she fed you an apple, correct?
If you're too afraid to get out the phrase she tried to murder me, then I'll say it for you. My stepmom was too afraid that I was going to outrule her. Or maybe it was the fact that I'm gorgeous and she's not. Either way, she tried to, murder me.
Right. Murder. Did you see it coming? I mean, what happened that day?
Well, it was a normal day. I woke up, I made the Dorvis breakfast.
What'd you make?
Well, I started by making this huge breakfast of waffles. And I mean, I'm no Gordon Ramsay, but it was pretty good if I do say so myself. Oh, but I did knock over some flour. And then the grumpy one, Steve, he got mad at me for using all the eggs. But I mean, it's not like he's ever used eggs to cook.
Sounds like a hectic morning.
Yes, it was. That's when I started picking up around the house, which I think they were grateful for, and for good reason. But then the next morning they told me, don't open the door for anyone. I mean, who does he think he is? He isn't my father because, well, he's dead. Plus, I do as I please. I cook and I clean all day long. And what do I get for it? Rules?
Sounds tiring, I guess. What happened that afternoon?
Well, that's when I saw her. Or not her, exactly. I was just making a cake when I heard some rustling outside.
Continue.
And I opened the door, and I saw this sweet old lady holding a basket of apples. She told me I was a joy to lay her eyes upon, and then she handed me one. And yes, I did think it was strange, but honestly, I felt bad for her. I mean, I can't imagine having wrinkles. But turns out it was my stepmother in disguise, which is even uglier.
When you ate the apple, what happened?
Well, I felt really drowsy after, so I closed my eyes, and then when I woke up, all the doors were surrounding me. And that strange prince.
Interesting. Thank you for your time. I'm very excited to have you all here for this next part. Who wants to start? Tell me what you saw, maybe how you felt.
Well, I was avoiding her the entire time. Not because I get nervous around her, just because, well, anyways, she was here, so when I didn't hear anything coming from behind the door, I figured it was safe to enter in peace. But when I walked through the door, I was shocked to find her body limp on the floor.
Of course we were all shocked, and as the doctor of the group, I checked her pulse.
Serves her right. After all the chaos she caused in her little teenage brain, I wasn't surprised that she was dumb enough to eat a poisonous apple.
She was such a sweetheart. I don't understand how something like that could happen to her. The air purity. I can feel it slipping.
Huh? What?
What happened after you all found her dead?
See, that's where you're wrong. The girl wasn't dead per se. When we called the mortician, she revealed that Snow was in fact in a state of deep nescience.
After much tedious and rigorous examination, I discovered the apple contains a paralytic compound, and when combined with the prince's favorite cologne, Christian Dior, would nullify the effect of the apple, the poison on her very lips.
What?
Of course, the cologne. That's genius. Why didn't I think of that? You mean that disgusting smelling, clearly overpriced trash? It just thinking about it makes me
Bless you.
Thank you. Wow, Dopey, I'm so proud of you.
I'm not. Why didn't you say things earlier?
So, how did you feel when you found out your one true love was supposedly dead?
Whoa, one true love? Bro, I just thought she was cute.
Isn't true love's kiss what broke the spell?
Nah, listen, I was strutting through the woods, right? And I saw a crowd gathering, and I thought, hey, what's going on over there?
So I walked over and saw her sleeping. So I decided to give her a good night's kiss like, "Good night, baby girl."
Then she sat up.
So your kiss did wake her up.
Nah, you see, I was at the gym before that, and I showered and put a whole bottle of cologne on. Can't you smell it? Fahrenheit by Christian Dior? That's what always gets the ladies calling.
I can smell it. I thought someone had died. Miss Viotto, correct? How long have you been a mortician?
8 years.
Wow, 8 years. What exactly do you do for a job?
When I receive a dead body, I simply have to prepare them for burial. All I have to do is sew the eyes shut, glue the lips, remove blood from the veins, and replace with formaldehyde-based chemicals through the arteries. I then make a small incision on the lower part of the abdomen and a trocar.
That's enough, that's okay. You didn't do that to Snow White though, right?
No. When I got to her, her body was still warm. Dead bodies are always cold by the time I get them, so I knew she wasn't actually dead. I asked the dwarves if they still wanted me to prepare her for burial. They said not to. It was so disappointing.
Okay, thank you for your time.
I'm sure I'll be seeing you around the morgue soon.
Oh. So Snow White, we've heard everyone else tell about your near-death experience, except for you. I'm curious about your side of the story. What happened when you woke up?
Well, to be honest, I was confused at first. When I first woke up, I saw my prince above me and the dwarves surrounding me.
I had a really bad headache and a bump in my head, but I didn't know how I got it.
That's when I filled in on what happened and how True Love's kiss was able to save her.
How'd you feel about the kiss, Snow?
Well, to be honest, at first I wasn't sure how I felt, but then I realized it was true love, and now we're happy as we could be.
Well, there you have it. The peculiar case of Snow White, told by those who experienced it. Did Snow White really die? Was the prince her true love? And what was up with that beaver? We'll see you next week for the shocking kidnapping and escape of Rapunzel. I've been Loralei Pearson, and this has been 2700 Seconds.